viewers and subscribers, welcome back to another video. Now it's a boy SAE. Big up on yourself and thank you all for tuning in to this one. So coming up in today's video, guys, we're gonna zoom in on about two topics. I was browsing through the media and I woke up on this article where curtly Ambrose was basically leaking out against ICC for as we know, the West Indies will be taking on England in a two-match test series over there in England for the Richard Botham Trophy, I think. And Colin Walsh was saying that two test match is too little. He said that he wants more test match for the West Indies cricket team, which is going to tour England. And plus, we're going to zoom in another article where Sarwan was basically saying that the state of test cricket in the Caribbean right now is really poor. Test cricket overall is really poor. And I'm just going to really zoom in on those topics. But before we do so, though, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notification bell to be the first alerted whenever a new video is uploaded. And don't forget, we are on our way to 20,000 subscribers. So without further ado, people, let's dive right into the details. You understand? So let's see if I can bring up the article right about now to let you guys hear what the article basically saying. You know, because it's really interesting, to hear from these former players that are players who want to see the betterment of West Indies cricket. So I wanna zoom in on it, man. But alright. First, let's zoom in and Sarwan basically saying Test cricket at low point in West Indies. Mass exodus to US likely. When I saw one and health of Test cricket in the region, so when I saw one is leading a comfortable life after retirement. After retirement, but and talk him, basically, people, I don't want to dive into his life, but he's living a peaceful, good life after retiring from cricket. And he was in an interview where he was asked about the state of West Indies Test cricket, and he was like, it's not really in a good state. You understand? Because other countries are really just coming into the fold of cricket and doing better than us. You understand? Speaking to media, the 44-year-old lamented the lack of cricket facilities in the region. As we know, he featured in 87 tests and 181 ODIs, aggregating more than 10,000 runs across formats and played alongside fellow Guyanese Shivnarine Chanapal and the great Brian Lara for better part of his career. As we know, Sarwan was one of the players I really look up to when I was growing up, you understand? Until one time he disappeared from the fold. When I come and understand cricket a bit more, I understand that he retired, but I used to love watching when I saw one Batman and also Shivnarine Chanapal. But let's dive into what he had to say. He said after being asked the question, well, Test cricket is at a very low point, to be honest. Among the games that we are playing against among the games that we are playing again in the Caribbean, I don't think it's sufficient to develop our players, but I also think there is this major threat to us for T20 cricket where a lot of people are showing interest in the shortest format, he said. So he's basically saying that T20 cricket is a threat for us people, you understand? In a form that we all love the shorter version, right? But we all know that T20 cricket is not the true form of cricket, you understand? Test cricket and those patient Test cricket is basically the mother of cricket overall. You understand? But the younger generation are not interested in playing Test cricket nowadays. People are basically interested in playing T20 cricket, fast money. Nobody want to stay in the sun for 20 hours or 10 or 15 hours a day to play cricket. You understand? For example, that to play cricket when they can just play 3 hours and make double what they're making in Test cricket in T20. So you understand where it's coming from. He said, I think one of the biggest challenges we have had is facilities in the Caribbean. I think the cricket board has been working on it. So we'll see what happens, he added. I see a lot of Caribbean players moving to USA. As we know, people in the just concluded T20 World Cup. I think Aaron Jones is a Caribbean player. I think he's from Barbados. Stephen Taylor has Jamaican heritage. A lot of, if you look in the Canada team as well, couple Jamaican, heritage in there. But you know what he said? Sarwan has nothing against players making money from plethora of franchise leagues, but the lure is impacting the format he loves and took great pride in playing. You know, he said, with the way the game is going, Sarwan foresees a mass exodus of the Caribbean players to mainland America, where the game has got a major push with hosting of the T20 World Cup and inclusion of the sport in the 2028 LA Olympic program. So he's saying that US get a little highlight, after they performed pretty well in the T20 World Cup that just concluded. And I understand with India taking the trophy, and he's saying that this will basically be a bad thing for the West Indies because a lot of players are going to really push to play for US because the money is more there rather than play for West Indies in the Caribbean. You understand? And I can't blame him, people, because uh he's looking at it as in a way where he's saying that his um cricket very love test cricket is not really showing progress in the Caribbean. You know what he said? I think having T20 format in the US, which is so close to the Caribbean with so many players, of course they would have the opportunity now to participate in the short format of the game in the US. So you might find a lot of people jumping ship in terms of coming to the US and start participating in T20, and of course try and see if they could find a way in terms of becoming legal in the US, and then start hoping and then start hopefully pushing um, the play in the US. Someone said, who also spends a lot of time in the US. Well, I can't bash him on it, people, because everybody go where the money is. You continue. I don't think it's something that can be done only in the Caribbean. I think the ICC probably would have to intervene to put a limit in terms of how many T20 franchise tournaments are being played around the world. You understand? So it's calling the ICC to step up people and basically put a stop on certain tournament because it's going to affect the cricket in some countries, especially the West Indies. Of course, you want to have the best players available for all those leagues. And of course, you also want to be able to represent the countries. So I think it's a major challenge uh, in terms of saying what is the ideal scenario. At some point in time, the ICC probably would have to intervene, which I really don't see happening in the near future, said Sarwan. You know what, people? He went on. Has the pride of playing for West Indies diminished in the era of T20 cricket? And I pose that question to you guys. Do you believe that the pride of playing for West Indies is basically no more? Because you know what, people is not really in love with playing for West Indies anymore. They're in love with making money. And that's where the generation is gone to, because, as we said, people, the love of the cricket is not really there anymore. Even though we get a boost since the T20 World Cup hosted in the Caribbean, but I know it's a walk in the right direction, but it's going to be challenging, for players to really give up those monies to play for West Indies. I don't want to say it diminished, but probably because of the shorter format of the game, it has taken a lot of players' attention, so they probably would have worked more in the shorter format rather than the longer format. We all know what Test cricket requires. We don't call it Test cricket because of the term Test cricket, right? It's been over 5 days, and of course, the test is usually in every aspect you could possibly think of. That is one of the reasons like I said, the guys have probably lost their focus on the larger format, Sarwan said. And I can't really bash him for saying that, people, because it's really difficult to play 5 day of test cricket, you understand, without no stop. You know, it's really difficult. But you know, leave your thoughts on what you believe in Sarwan saying. But let's see if I can really give a little quick little summary, guys, of what quickly Ambrose is saying. You know, two test match series to me is a joke. When these legends Sir Quickly Ambrose calls for a three-test match series versus Aussie. So sorry guys, earlier on I said it's going to be England. Boy, you know I made a mistake, guys, up front, but it's test series against Australia, back in next year. So he's basically saying, based on how the West Indies perform in the previous test series versus Australia, where they 1-1 down under, beat Australia down under. He's saying that they deserve more test match over there, and I'm not really going to really dive into the full detail of what he said, but I'm just going to give you it as it is. He's saying that they want more test matches versus Australia because he believes that the West Indies can whop up Australia once again rather than a 1-1 test match. But leave your thoughts down below as usual, guys. As you know, big up on yourself and thank you very much. And sorry about the blunder earlier. You understand? We come on.